Our lead story tonight, Rahul Gandhi on the 100th day of his Bharat Jodo Yatra today had a press conference in Jaipur where he made controversial comments on the government's China policy. He said that he knew that none of the journalists would ask him about it, so he outlined what he felt is the issue, saying that China is preparing for war, that China is preparing for an invasion into Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh, adding that the government is sleeping. The BJP has responded strongly to this.
चाइना के बारे में एक सवाल नहीं पूछा जाएगा। जिन्होंने 2000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर हिंदुस्तान का उठा लिया, जिन्होंने हिंदुस्तान के 20 जवानों को शहीद किया, जो हमारे जवानों को अरुणाचल प्रदेश में पीट रहे हैं, मैंने कहा हिंदुस्तान की प्रेस मुझसे इनके बारे में एक सवाल नहीं पूछेगी, मगर उस थ्रेट को ना छुपाया जा सकेगा और ना इग्नोर किया जा सकेगा। हिंदुस्तान की सरकार सोई हुई है। इस बात को हिंदुस्तान की सरकार सुनना नहीं चाहती है, मगर उनका प्रिपरेशन चल रहा है और प्रिपरेशन युद्ध का है। प्रिपरेशन कोई इंकर्जन का नहीं है, प्रिपरेशन युद्ध का है।
माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने चाइना से रिश्वत, एक तरफ से रिश्वत लेके कांग्रेस पार्टी ने राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन को, एक तरफ से रिश्वत है, वो आप कुछ भी बोलो डोनेशन वगैरह, इट इज ए टाइप ऑफ करप्शन। वो पैसा लेके क्या क्या किया है ये सवाल उठाया है, और कितना लैंड कांग्रेस के कालखंड में, नेहरू जी के कालखंड में स्पेशली, और बाद में कैसे हमारा परमानेंट मेंबरशिप इन्होंने सैक्रिफाइस करके चाइना को दिया, ये सब इट इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ द पीपल।
And this as the General Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Eastern Command has said that the issue on this border has now been resolved.
In one of those areas where there is a differing perception of the LAC, the PLA patrol had transgressed and which was contested very firmly and resolutely by our forces on ground, which led to some amount of physical violence. But I am happy to say that it was contained at the local level. Presently, I would like to assure everybody that the border areas along the northern frontier is stable and we are firmly in control.
The other big headline tonight, Prime Minister Modi and Russia's President Putin spoke on the phone today. Both the leaders discussed the current Ukraine conflict, with Prime Minister Modi stressing to President Putin that dialogue and diplomacy are the only way forward. Vishnu, what are the big highlights really of this conversation? And it's important given the fact that Russia is really stepping up its missile strikes in Ukraine as we speak.
Well, that's right. Multiple cities in Ukraine have been hit by Russian missiles. Ukraine has been warning about it, and a lot of their infrastructure, more than 50% of power, has actually been destroyed. So it's going to be a very cold winter. It already is. As far as this conversation is concerned, the Prime Minister reiterated that the path towards ending that war is important. The path of diplomacy is important. War is not the solution. He's also asked President Putin what his game plan or the plan of Russia is. And in a separate statement, the Kremlin has said that there was a conversation where President Putin told Prime Minister Modi that, look, this is how we see the Ukraine situation. Secondly, I think it's important to state that Ukraine itself has very strong expectations of Prime Minister Modi. In an interview to us a couple of weeks back, the Ukrainian foreign minister said India has a definite role. So India balancing our time-tested relations with Russia and what Ukraine says, will India finally have some sort of say in bringing this war to an end?
Right, and that's an important point, given that they've also discussed India's role as in the G20 presidency. So it would be important to see the role Prime Minister Modi plays as a possible mediator. But this, of course, coming in the middle of a huge controversy, as India has responded strongly to statements by the Pakistan Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari attacking the Prime Minister. In a statement, India said that his remarks were a new low even for Pakistan. And the BJP, meanwhile, separately is now planning to hold nationwide protests against Bilawal Bhutto's remarks. Meanwhile, in New York, Foreign Minister Jay Shankar hit out strongly when a Pakistan journalist asked him on what India's stand is on ending terrorism, saying, ask your minister first, since they are responsible for terrorism.
BJP activists protesting at the Pakistan High Commission in Delhi after attacks against Prime Minister Modi and the RSS by Pakistan Foreign Minister. India has called the remarks uncivilized and a new low even for Pakistan.
This is the Prime Minister of the RSS and the Foreign Minister of the RSS. What is the RSS? The RSS draws its inspiration from Hitler's SS.
High-profile BJP leaders, including ministers, hit back at Pakistan, calling it a failed state.
जिस तरीके की भाषा का प्रयोग पाकिस्तान के विदेश मंत्री ने किया है, वो केवल एक दिवालिये देश को रिप्रेजेंट नहीं करते, बल्कि वो अपने मानसिक दिवालियेपन का भी परिचय दे रहे हैं। एक पंजाबी में कहावत है, शायद पाकिस्तान में लोगों को समझ आएगी, कौवा ते कहते टोरनी मरते।
The protests in Delhi follow a war of words in New York, where Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar bluntly called out Pakistan's support for terrorism.
You're asking the wrong minister when you say how long will we do this, because it is the ministers of Pakistan who will tell you how long Pakistan intends to practice terrorism.
The rebuttal coming in the face of Pakistan's junior foreign minister Hina Rabbani Har playing both victim and gaslighting India.
No country has benefited from it better than India.
Give the floor to His Excellency.
Directly responding to that, Jaishankar called Pakistan the epicenter of terrorism.
That if you have snakes in your backyard, you can't expect them to bite only your neighbors. Eventually, they will bite the people who keep them in the backyard.
The pace and the series of all these clashes between the top diplomats of the two nuclear powers have been the sharpest in some time. In New Delhi, Maha Siddiqui for NDTV.
The other big headline, the tension continuing between the government and the judiciary, one over the appointment of judges, what the current system is, and also over what the Supreme Court's hearing, and now even over court vacations. This, as the Law Minister and MPs raised yesterday, that the holidays being taken by the court is something which is inconveniencing normal people. The Chief Justice making the point that there will be no vacation benches for the winter break, but for emergency cases, they can be heard.
The issue of who should appoint judges took a new turn today, 2 days after the Law Minister said that the Supreme Court should not hear bail pleas or frivolous public interest litigations. The Chief Justice said today during an order that no matter is small or big for the top court. Today's comments came while freeing a man jailed for 18 years for electricity theft.
I have made certain remarks. A very, very good gesture to Honorable Supreme Court that you take up those cases which are relevant and which are appropriate for Supreme Court to take up. If Supreme Court of India starts hearing bail applications, if Supreme Court of India starts hearing all frivolous PILs, definitely it will cause lots of extra burden on the Honorable Court itself.
Chief Justice Chandrachud underscored reasoning behind his comments. He said, "Are we going to send someone to jail for 18 years for stealing electricity? You can't equate the theft of electricity to murder. The right to personal liberty is an inalienable right. It is a precious right recognized by the Constitution. If we don't act in matters of personal liberty and grant relief, what are we doing here? And no matter is small or big for us." But the Chief Justice announced the court will go ahead with the winter vacations with no vacation bench as has been the norm.
क्या चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया से बात करेंगे कि समर वेकेशन विंटर वेकेशन को खत्म करके और जैसे हर व्यक्ति अपनी छुट्टी लेता साल में 120 या 115 वो व्यवस्था जो अन्य जगह पर लागू है उसको करने के बारे में क्या चीफ जस्टिस से बात करेंगे?
You should have continuing courts. Court should never close. But you can give holidays to judges and which can be spread across the year in terms of their own convenience.
Definitely, as a law minister, it is also my bounded obligation and duty to convey the message of this house or the sense of this house to the judiciary. Will definitely ensure that even if there are vacations, the functioning of the court should not be stopped.
Judiciary has been the trending topic in the winter session of the Parliament, from collegium system to pendency of cases, latest being courts going on winter and summer break. Not deterred by these remarks, Chief Justice on Friday confirmed that there won't be any vacation benches during the winter break in Supreme Court. This is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
Rahul Gandhi's comments on China today making headlines, but also today Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra has marked 100 days. It began from Kanyakumari, it's been through 8 states and it will end in Kashmir in January of the next year. So huge crowds today as the Yatra reached Dausa in Rajasthan, and Rahul Gandhi addressing the media here making headlines again, saying that the Congress would have won Gujarat if AAP was not contesting.
Overwhelming crowds at the Bharat Jodo Yatra in Dausa, Sachin Pilot's family seat before delimitation took over. And at the centre of the Congress's political debate in Rajasthan is this very question: crowd pulling charisma versus sound electoral maths. Can incumbent Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot pull off another election, or should there be a leadership change? This is the question that now faces the Rajasthan Congress, with the party clearly divided in two factions, between Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and young challenger Sachin Pilot. But it's clearly a debate Rahul Gandhi thought wise to avoid.
कोई निर्णय की स्थिति नहीं है, बड़ा क्लियर है। ये आपको मतलब ये थोड़ा थोड़ा होता रहता है पार्टी में, हमारी पार्टी में होता है, कोई बड़ी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है। भैया मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी का प्रेसिडेंट नहीं हूँ, कांग्रेस पार्टी के प्रेसिडेंट खारगे जी हैं, आप ये सवाल उनसे पूछिए।
Rajasthan goes into an election in just 11 months. That's followed by the general election in 2024. And what will be the formula for that?
The Congress party must work with all the opposition parties. There's a lot of space to do that. But the exact strategy, how it's going to be done, that you have to ask the new Congress president. And frankly, if in Gujarat the AAP hadn't been put up as a proxy and hadn't been used to target the Congress party, we would probably beat in the BJP there as well.
The political contradictions are perhaps the Congress's biggest challenge. Sachin Pilot versus Ashok Gehlot. The need for Congress uniting with the opposition versus the AAP working as a proxy. And it's perhaps outside the Yatra narrative that the Congress will have to find an answer to these contradictions. With camera person Xavier Thomas, in Jaipur, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
Well, the other big headline, good news in India's foreign trade with a positive growth of 10.97% over the same period last year. So the overall import in November is estimated to be US $69.33 billion. So both exports and imports up, exports by nearly 11% and imports also up by 5.6%. The trade deficit has narrowed 16%. Here's what the finance minister said.
It gives us an opportunity for many of the investments which are there for now looking for a different place from where the activities can continue to happen. So as much you're preparing yourself for a long-drawn recession in the Western world, the developed world, I would think it is also the best time for you to work out strategies for drawing those manufacturers from there to India.
Markets, meanwhile, declined for the second straight session. The Sensex down 461 points. The Nifty also falling 145 points, with all sectors ending in the red. Investors are concerned about the global economy's current health, given the rate hikes, and the rupee has weakened also by 10 paise, ending at 82 rupees 86 paise to the dollar. Also, India has cut the windfall tax on crude and aviation fuel. The government cutting this on domestically produced crude oil. The government has reduced the levy also on aviation turbine fuel exports, reduced from 5 rupees a litre to 1.5 rupees a litre now. The biggest beneficiaries are private refiners, Reliance Industries and Rosneft-based Nayara Energy, which are primary exporters of diesel and aviation turbine fuel, and also will benefit the windfall levy on domestic crude will benefit producers such as the state-run ONGC and Vedanta. Well, going across to our other headlines where really politicians should have other things to worry about, but now a BJP Maharashtra MLA has threatened Shah Rukh Khan's Pathaan, saying it won't be allowed to be released in Maharashtra. The BJP also said they applauded Amitabh Bachchan for speaking out over civil liberties and freedom of expression against what they said was Mamata Banerjee's dictatorship. The Trinamool hit back, saying it's about the BJP's tyrannical rule.
Even now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure my colleagues on stage will agree, questions are being raised on civil liberties and freedom of expression.
Superstar Amitabh Bachchan's rare comment on civil rights and freedom of speech, highlighting cinema censorship, has stoked a vicious war of words between political rivals, the BJP and TMC. Bachchan was speaking at Kolkata International Film Festival.
महाराष्ट्र में वर्तमान में हिंदुत्व विचारधारा वाली सरकार है। महाराष्ट्र की भूमि पर हिंदुत्व का अपमान करने वाली कोई भी फिल्म या कोई भी सीरियल हम कभी भी चलने नहीं देंगे। पठान फिल्म के निर्देशक और निर्माता सामने आकर हमारे साधु संतों द्वारा जो आपत्तिजनक बातें उठाई गई है उस पर वे अपना रुख स्पष्ट करें।
It is the viewers who needs to react towards a film, not any political leader who would particularly choose a color of Hindu and call it the color of Hindutva, or call it the color of any other religion, and cause a stir amongst religious sentiments, use wrong agendas, use wrong and have wrong motives just to create hate amongst communities under the pretext of cinema. I totally condemn that.
First, Madhya Pradesh Home Minister Narendra Mishra hit out, and later Maharashtra's BJP MLA Ram Kadam warned that Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika Padukone's Pathaan film will not be allowed in their states if it continues to hurt the sentiments of Hindus. Some right-wing activists also protested against Pathaan in Jabalpur.
The continuing attacks on cinema is exactly what Mr. Amitabh Bachchan highlighted when he shared examples of censorship from the past in his speech at the opening ceremony of the Kolkata International Film Festival 2022. And those attacks on cinema, on civil liberties and the freedom of expression still continue. With camera person Aniruddha Tripathi in Kolkata, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
And another champion of free speech, Elon Musk, the new owner of Twitter, has gone ahead and suspended journalists' handles. So he's in the middle of a huge controversy as news organizations have asked him for an explanation. Elon Musk has said because this threatens his safety, as these journalists, he claims, have been doxing his location. The journalists say this is untrue.
Twitter has suspended the accounts of 7 journalists, with the platform's owner Elon Musk accusing them of doxing or revealing his location in real time. However, some of the journalists have denied this. CNN's Donny O'Sullivan says he did not share the billionaire's live location, and Mashable's Matt Binder says he posted an official police statement and not Musk's location. However, in response to a tweet suggesting the suspensions were connected to a private jet tracking account, Musk wrote, "Same doxing rules apply to journalists as to everyone else." He insists the post threatened his and his family's safety, calling these assassination coordinates, even joining a Twitter space discussion along with one of the reporters.
We posted a link. In the course of reporting about Elon Jet, we posted links to Elon Jet, which are now not online and now banned on Twitter. And Twitter also, of course, marks even the Instagram and Mastodon accounts of Elon Jet.
No more acceptable for me. It's no more acceptable for me.
Musk's controversial suspension follows a series of interlinked events. On Thursday, Musk posted a video alleging this man was stalking his son. Parallelly, he suspended the Twitter handle Elon Jet, which used to live tweet the location of Musk's jet. On Wednesday, he changed Twitter's rules, imposing new conditions on all of Twitter's users, no more sharing of anyone's current location. Musk has also banned Mastodon, a rival social media platform, after it tweeted a link to the jet tracking account on its own service. Since Twitter is a private company, it is not bound to uphold the right to free speech outlined in the First Amendment. But Elon Musk has repeatedly claimed he wants fewer regulations. But these latest suspensions are inconsistent with Musk's self-professed commitment to free speech. Back in October, Musk had said he would form a council to advise him on policy matters before making changes to the company's content moderation policies. That council has not yet materialized. To top it all, this week, Musk disbanded a trust and safety advisory group that had guided Twitter on thorny issues like harassment and child exploitation. Parmeshwar Bava for NDTV.